The Philadelphia Eagles versus the Washington football team. The Washington football team. Let me hit you with projections. Look, I think Wentz is a start. I think Sanders and Boston Scott are starts. I think Deshaun Jackson's a start. We'll see what happens there. I think Ronald Reagan is a start. Rager. I think Rager's a start. And I like both.
Rager's out. He's not going to play.
He's out.
Shoulder. He's going to be out. I think the first 3 to 4 weeks.
Then the other Philadelphia
Deshaun
guy.
Jackson, man, he's the week 1 moneymaker every year.
Yeah.
I don't have the stats handy. Go back and look up Deshaun Jackson's week 1 finishes. It's like 100 yards and a touchdown, like 3 out of 4 years, basically.
Yeah, he's so what do you got? You got Arcega-Whiteside. You got Ward there.
I like Ward better than Whiteside.
I do too. But we'll see. Those are daily fantasy budget guys. And we already talked about Cole Beasley. I think is your best budget player if you're going to take a risk on them. But I think both tight ends are starts. Goddard and Ertz for Washington. You know what? I'm starting Antonio Gibson. Adrian Peterson's not there. I'm rolling the dice, man. I'm starting Antonio Gibson. We'll see what we got. Your other arguable start there is McLaurin. I'm staying away this week, although who else is going to catch passes from Washington? So if you have him, I think you can start him. But Washington's a wait and see outside of Gibson for me. So there you go. What do you think, David?
I think it's a little ballsy starting Gibson right away. I don't mind it, and I'm higher on Gibson
than
almost everybody I've come across. And I think at this point, his value has risen so much that the cost it takes to acquire him, again, you're almost forced into starting him this week. I do like this matchup, especially from the Washington side, because Philadelphia, they're good at generating turnovers. They're good at getting sacks. But this defense is not exactly great at stopping yardage and stopping touchdowns. You look at Haskins last year, he had probably his second best game against them. It was his second last game of the season. 19 of 28, 261 yards and 2 touchdowns. And this was as a rookie. They haven't done a whole lot to improve the defense. They brought in Slay. I saw they just released Cre'Von LeBlanc and then re-signed him. Other than Slay, they don't have a whole lot in their secondary that's going to lock people down. One guy who I've been hyping up all season long, and I'm just really hoping he can hit, is Logan Thomas, who, again, former quarterback, if you don't know. On my site, I have a whole thread about him. He used to be a tight end, number 1 recruited tight end over Zach Ertz and Tyler Eifert in his class. Played 4 years as a quarterback at Virginia Tech. First 3 years in the NFL as a quarterback, completely flamed out. The second he converted back to a tight end, he got signed the next day to the Bills roster. Has improved 3 years straight as the number 3 tight end on his team. Got paid to be the tight end 1, 2 years, $6.1 million contract. He's the tight end 1 in Washington. The number 2 wide receiver is up for grabs. Steven Sims, maybe. Gandy Golden's a rookie. We don't know how much Gibson's going to play wide receiver, how much he's going to play running back. That number 2 receiver in the pecking order, it's up for grabs. Logan Thomas is an athletic freak. 4'6", 140, I believe. 35.5-inch vertical. This is off the top of my head, so don't quote me. 4.18 shuttle, I believe. And he's like 6'6", 248. This guy is basically Darren Waller with an extra 10 pounds and a tenth of a second slower 40. He's a freak athlete. Again, get him on your team now before week 1. If he goes off week 1, even if he has a decent game week 1, tight end is so shallow he's going to get picked up. You're going to have to be fighting everyone to scrounge for him. Go stash Logan Thomas on your bench right now. If he hits week 1, you nailed a free pick.
Yeah, and this is the same coaching staff and scheme that helped Greg Olson, come to really fantasy football fame. So there's opportunity here. Let me hit you with the over-under. No arguments, by the way, on either side there. Let me hit you with the over-under. Philadelphia minus 6.5 against the Redskins. Or I'm sorry, against the football team. Sorry.
It's all right. It's going to take a little bit.
It will.
Getting used to that. You hit it the first time. I'll give you credit for that. I'm taking Philadelphia here just because, again, it's Washington. It's a divisional matchup. I feel like there's been a theme here. I seem to be taking the over on against all the bad teams.
Right.
I'd rather just bet against the bad teams. I don't want to bet on bad teams. I don't feel comfortable doing that.
Yeah. I'm with you, Philadelphia. I think they're just a more ready-made team. I'm going with consistency. I think Philadelphia is the best team in this division. They do have some wide receivers back, although not their full complement. Alshon and Ronald Reagan, Jalen Reagor being out. You got to go with Philadelphia here. Washington jumped out to a huge lead in Week 1 last year. Philadelphia came roaring back. And Deshaun Jackson, dude, he's really good in revenge games, and he gets to play the Washington football. I almost did it again. The Washington football team. I think
Week 1 and revenge games. That's a combo.
I know.
Jackson. You better get him in your lineup Week 1. Pay up for him in DFS.
I agree. So there you go.